Hey guys, so movement matters number 2 today, and what I'm going to take a little look at today is bracing, okay? Now, before I get started, what I kind of emphasize, bracing is going to be different movement to movement. There's going to be slight tweaks you need to make, so for example, how you would set up a brace for a squat might be slightly different to how you would set up a brace for a deadlift, okay? So what I intend on doing is breaking these movements down individually over the course of the series, but for today, I just kind of want to give you the basics and hopefully give you a couple of tips you can take away to improve your training immediately, okay? So why is bracing important in the first place? So for me, two main reasons really. One, it's efficiency of movement, okay? So efficient bracing leads to maximal power output, okay? And you're just getting a little bit more from the movement. You're in the correct position. So if you're someone who's training for physique improvements too, that matters. Maximizing muscle recruitment is very, very important. Secondly, and probably the biggest reason I want to cover it, is a lot of people struggle with back pain in the deadlift and the squat, for example, okay? And if you've got a previous back injury, it can feel like when you approach these movements and there's pain there that, it's movements that you're never going to be able to do, but it's something I've found when I've worked with clients that have struggled from back pain over the years. When we've sort of perfected their bracing, 9 times out of 10 it gets rid of that pain there. Not always, but 9 times out of 10. So if you're somebody who struggles with back pain in these lifts, it's definitely worth paying attention to this video and the videos coming over the next couple of weeks, okay? So with that in mind, what I'm going to look at and what I'm going to focus on is the position of the pelvis, okay? Because there's a couple of key steps in bracing, one of which is bracing the core itself, okay? But what I tend to see happen with the bracing process is too much focus goes on just tensing the abs, okay? So you'll see people really puff out their abs and not much else happens round about that, okay? And you're kind of missing some big components of that. So what I'm going to do is take you through 2 positions, and it's in relation to the lower back as well. That's possibly a better way of explaining it, okay? So what I'm going to do is switch myself sideways and show you 2 different positions, okay? Now, first position is the wrong position, so that is with your pelvis pushed back, okay? So I'm kind of extending my lower back. You'll see there's an arch in my lower back, and if I was under load in this position, my lower back and spine is taking a lot of that stress, okay? I'm not really in an efficient position to kind of weight bear. So that is the position you don't want to be in, but it's the position a lot of us will default into. Even in everyday life, just walking about, standing, you'll see people kind of fall into this extended position. But the position we want to be in is with a neutral pelvis and a neutral spine, okay? So how we achieve that, squeeze the glutes, tuck the pelvis forward, okay? So the way I teach it is I like to teach people to imagine you're trying to draw a line between your rib cage and your hips, okay? So you're trying to draw a straight line between the two. That kind of helps you get an idea of where you want your pelvis to be. In squeezing your glutes kind of play a key role in stabilizing the pelvis in the first place. So you're making sure you're maximizing recruitment there. And then, for example, if we were then to focus on kind of abdominal bracing from there, that's the way I would teach it. I'd get the pelvis right first, then go into abdominal bracing. The way I would think about it is creating tension from the lower abs up, okay? So rather than just thinking about tensing the core out, think about creating tension from the lower abs around the pelvis up through the rest of the abdominal region, okay? Now, that's kind of really the basics of bracing. As I said, how you apply that to different movements will vary lift to lift, so that will be my next few videos. But hopefully that's given you something to work on, and if you're somebody who struggles with pain, hopefully that will help improve your pain. And I think, guys, if there's any movements in particular you want covered, if there's anything in particular you're struggling with, particularly bracing related, drop me a message and I'll make sure I cover that over the next couple of weeks. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.